Hello and welcome to VIII Awakens, Above Table Episode 8.
Yay!
With me, I have the majority of the cast, or all the cast, minus the DM, which is most of the cast. So I have not most of the cast, actually.
He's never here.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about episodes, let me check, 35 through 42. So, just to give the viewers at home a reference, first off, please go and watch these episodes before listening to this above table, because there are massive spoilers for this discussion.
Like the entire thing.
To give us a frame of reference, episode 35 began with the party in Port Smythe going ahead and tracking down some bounties.
Splitting up.
Ooh, that was a fun one.
We ended after the climactic battle with some cultists, and the debrief from that battle, and Arine leaving the party.
Spoilers! Oh my goodness.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
You tell them they're going to be spoilers in this episode?
Just did.
Spoilers.
They're spoilers, by the way.
What?
I know.
So that's
That was the biggest one right away.
You had your chance to leave.
So, these episodes are really our first ones that ended up just being a comedy tour for a few episodes.
Yeah.
35 was the brothers Dumb going ahead and
Not dumb.
The brothers brainless.
trying to solve a child murder case.
It was such a complicated case. I don't know how anyone could have
was-
reasonably
That's
expected
true.
to solve it. You see, Jethro and Domik
To be
solved
fair,
it in a
they
matter of
went
2
to the
hours.
correct source originally.
But she told us to leave.
Our
There was nothing else to be
instincts were
done.
perfect.
Yeah, I would say our instincts were spot on because we went straight to the first person.
So, I just want to say, this is something that I, above table, have not seen. So, I need both of you to explain what happened.
I have seen it, and it is hilarious.
I also.
We just heard recaps,
I
right?
need an
A
explanation.
lot of things happened. First was
the short and dirty.
we bought a toy to lure a kid away from a school so we could talk to him.
Yeah, that was from a
Why?
shop that was selling brisket for $2 a piece and had nothing on the shelf.
Yes.
That's right. Well, we knew something was wrong there. So, I mean, our first thought was, well, if we're going to find someone who goes after kids, we need to talk to some kids and find out who's been shady and who's been, And so we went to the school, which is where kids are, and
Yep.
we
Good idea.
did what we thought we needed to do to try to get some kids to come over and talk to them.
By luring them.
Well, we thought that
I mean, that's
half-orc
just one
and
way
a-
to put it.
Yeah.
We offered a gift in exchange for.
So did you
answers
get
to
the guys
questions.
get the whole
Kids like candy.
white painted cart
We
to go
talked
with
about
this?
We talked about the cart that we were going to paint white and pass candy out of. We thought that would be inappropriate. And so what we did
I'm
instead...
glad your instincts kicked in.
Yeah.
least
So
there's
turns out that the kids were freaked out by us anyway. So they didn't...
Yep.
And the teacher
Yelled at us.
yelled at us and said, get out of here.
Yeah.
So we had plan B.
And you guys were like,
We
I'm just
found
trying
some-
to ask
Plan
these
B.
kids some questions.
Found some
about
kids in an
abuse.
alley.
Yep. We were
You
told...
got stabbed.
Yep.
I will say, you guys were very shocked at a school teacher running you off to large armed men hanging around the schoolyard.
Yeah, in
Half-orc.
retrospect, in
And then one
retrospect,
that's all scarred up.
it wasn't the greatest plan. So then we were like, well, the DM had pointed out there was a bunch of kids playing in an alley. So we thought, well, let's go talk to those kids.
Yep.
And we did. Turns out they were
Playing keep away from another kid.
playing keep away. We had story time with Remdil, where the kids talked with him, and one of the kids pulled out a shank and tried to attack us.
I don't think they tried to. I think they successfully attacked us.
Yeah.
You lost a hit point.
I did lose a hit point from that, but we were able to subdue the stabby one, and I saw potential, and did not feel like this child needed to be punished, but rather we needed to redirect that energy to benefit
Trap.
our society.
Into a trap, did
Well,
you say?
Yes.
What better way than to find a child murderer than to use a child as bait in the middle of the night?
A child that
Town
is also
square.
potentially a murderer. So.
Right.
Yeah, well, so we asked, we paid actually for all the information that we got from them.
What? Candy?
Nope, in gold.
Oh.
Yep. We paid
I
them.
gave a gold piece to each kid, and I think 2 to Stabby Kid.
That's so much money.
Yeah.
It's like a
Well,
weekly salary for
listen.
like a normal person.
We will never be called stingy. We were very
We gave away toys. We gave away gold.
That's right. And so then we asked the child to basically meet us at midnight in the middle of town square, And I thought it
Alone.
would be great.
So you paid a child to meet you in the town square at midnight.
Because
Alone.
that would reveal the murder, and of course we would protect the kid.
So you wanted to
weren't gonna
reveal the kid. Got it.
Yeah, we were going to protect the
Okay,
kid if
yeah,
anything
sure.
happened.
It's a bait thing. Yeah.
It was a bait and switch, and we even got Edmund and Domik to come help us out.
Sorry, a bait and switch is when you use yourself or someone that's in on the bait and switch
Oh,
to be the
right.
bait.
Yeah, that was just regular bait.
That was just regular bait.
It was a bait
It's
and
just
bait.
bait. Yeah.
Child bait.
yeah, bait and bait. Well, Edmund and Domik helped out. Which
Well,
was great.
they actually
were involved.
came and told us the story because we were in the library researching,
Right.
and
You know.
they came and were like, "Hey, so we have this plan," and then they explained the whole thing. Edmund and Domik.
And I think, I think we heard it and we're like, I don't know what you mean. Clearly, we're missing something.
Right? Yeah, this is not.
But it was just what they said.
Yeah.
There was no punchline. It was just, we're just meeting children at
I
dark.
was very surprised that the murderer did not reveal themselves that night.
In character, out of character.
Both above table and as Bolgram. But I thought it was a perfect opportunity above table for the DM to, pay off some very creative.
Creative problem solving, but like,
role-playing,
did you guys stealth in and hide yourselves while you were watching
We
the
weren't
child?
hiding.
We were
Okay.
behind some crates.
Okay. I don't remember, but I just imagine the
Yeah, I
four of
expect
you,
this
because
out
you
of them.
recruited Edmund and
But I didn't
Domik to
expect
come
this out
along.
of you two.
Yeah.
Well, we were
and
kind of.
We saved
I
the
don't
good.
think they
I'm
believed
really
us.
imagining you guys sitting on top of like a boxes of crates,
It's
just
just
like watching this
there
kid
he
like
is.
across the courtyard in full view.
I
Yeah.
thought what we did was bad.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was pretty
What we
bad.
did
Yeah.
was bad.
We'll get to that.
We'll get there.
We'll get
It
to
was
that.
bad, but it wasn't stupid.
That's up next.
Yeah.
So
I think
we
that's
learned our
basically
lesson,
it.
and that we didn't have the best strategy there.
We didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
But our friends came to the rescue, and were able to successfully solve that
Eventually.
mystery.
Down the road, yeah.
A couple episodes later.
You're very valuable friends.
That's right. That's the moral of the story is really don't split up. I think.
I mean,
It really
that was the moment that we decided let's not split the party anymore.
Maybe this is like a thing people say in reference to RPGs for a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something there to that whole thing.
left to our own devices.
At least
Speaking of left to our own devices.
Yeah. So after
Hey!
that, you guys, so
During.
Jethro
Team
and
Delinquent
during, I
over
guess,
here.
same time
Hey.
because they split the party. Jethro and Arine decided
We're on a mission.
to take up a mission to Desiree's house.
We were just gonna check in.
We
It
were
was a
just-
fact-finding mission that turned into armed
Breaking it in.
breaking and entering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
something was broken.
Yeah.
Multiple things were broken.
Multiple things are broken.
Yeah.
Not on purpose. I mean,
So
just lost.
the
It's not
original
even really
intention
lost.
was, we show up. Hey Desiree, how's things doing? We just want to, check
How you
in.
doing?
We wanted to assess the situation between Desiree and her sister.
Yeah.
We wanted to see if, like, Kapoor was shacking up at Desiree's house and, like,
Shacking up
recovering. Maybe that was the wrong choice. It was taking refuge at her sister's house and, like, recovering. Arine wanted to see how wounded she was still,
Yeah.
and if she was killable at that point, which I'm sure Jethro also did. And then, the butler was there, and we just heard a scream. So
We rushed in to save him.
naturally, we rushed in to save
We
them,
were being good people.
and then we checked the rest of the house to make sure that there were no villains.
Yeah.
Just ourselves.
We were just helping.
We were helping.
We showed up, we saw that there was a potential threat on Desiree's life, so we went in to help. And then we found out Desiree wasn't there, and when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and in this case, Rome is Desiree's house, and the Romans were robbing it.
I don't even think that we took that much. It was when we brought the rest of the party back.
So yeah, so
You
the party
encouraged us to rob them.
I did, in fact,
after
take
you
that.
guys decided to calm back down and go back to the party and tell them what you did.
We didn't tell.
You
We
explained
told them
that
what
it was
happened.
someone broke into it, and then
just
we walked
left
through the
out
house.
who's who. We
We
told them
said
what happened.
someone broke in, trashed the place, and Kapoor's not there, which
So-
is all factual
All
statements.
facts.
So after
Straight facts.
so the party as a whole decided after the place was trashed, and after it was pseudo robbed, you guys decided to go back and actually rob it.
I mean,
Well,
Ed,
no.
technically speaking,
I wouldn't say that.
The reason
technically speaking, it's not incorrect that they robbed it after someone else robbed it, just
Absolutely.
as someone else
Hold
was us.
on.
Yes.
The only reason we went back is because those two said we went in there, we didn't find anything except for a very locked, very specific very suspicious chest.
All
And then
true.
Domik was like, "Oh well, if Desiree's not there,
All true.
And the whole place has been ransacked by presumably the hidden pillars.
we need clues to help
We
Desiree."
never
We
said
never
that.
said that.
But you
We
let
said it
us
was
to believe.
ransacked.
But we never said it.
So technically, you're
You
not
were-
terrible people.
I rolled
Actually,
persuasion for
you
that
are
check,
terrible
not
people.
deception.
So again, for your character, it doesn't matter. For stats.
No, it's the same.
So,
It's the same.
as a party, are you guys concerned with how much manipulation you've seen from Jethro at this point? And Arine, I guess?
I don't like this. I don't like the course of this conversation.
I don't
just
think
saying.
that. I don't think that was a terrible manipulation. I mean, if they had come back and said, "Hey, we looted the place and we didn't find much," we would have been totally accepting of that. So like them coming and being like, "Oh, something happened," and then we go and investigate further. Like that's not. We would never have even batted an eye if you'd been like,
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We don't have a whole lot of time to walk on eggshells and make sure we do everything 100% above table or like above the law or whatever.
For the good of humanity.
So it feels bad, and if you ask Jethro straight up, not Jethro, my name's Domik, Domik straight up, he'll pretend like he's all like offended about it, but honestly, we just need the clues, need to figure out what's there, we needed to go, so I'll bitch and complain.
So, you guys got a lot of loot from there. Did you guys get any clues besides this financial ledger that showed that she spends too much money on jewelry and dresses?
And for some reason about a shady gift for Edmund that we still don't know about, but it's okay.
Yeah, that was very conveniently glossed over.
I mean, other than
It was like shady because like Edmund was kind of throwing around like accusations to like all these people, and then we start digging
All
through
these people, us.
Yeah,
Accusation.
and then Desiree
Yeah.
just suspiciously has multiple notes about Edmund in her like ledger and journal. It was good bait because Edmund was throwing accusations towards Jethro and Arine, and so for them to find that journal, it was like, okay, now we have
Even the playing field a little
something to
bit.
throw back. But then it all just turned out to be bogus on all fronts. So
Yeah.
So, at the same time, though,
Hey, you were,
while you
wrong,
guys
too.
were
Kind of.
trying to lure kids away from the school garden,
Yep.
you guys were
Trying to catch
breaking
a
and
murderer.
entering into a former ally's house at this point, I guess? Pseudo-ally?
More of a current enemy,
Current enemy?
honestly.
I wouldn't say she's
I wouldn't say Desiree's
She is now.
Yeah,
If she
I mean,
wasn't before,
Kapoor
she is
is.
now.
Well, I mean,
still haven't done anything to her.
We still don't know.
You know.
we can lie to her and be
We'll
like,
see.
hey, we're trying.
But Domik
I got you.
and Edmund went to the library to figure out what the stuff you got off of Kapoor meant.
Attempting to do our due diligence, but we kind of just ran in circles and came up with more theories than answers, honestly.
I would like to explore this God of Mentos thing though, because
Mentos,
Mentos,
Mentos
the fresh maker.
the fresh breath maker.
Yeah.
If there's a god of Mentos, is there a god of Coke in this?
Yes,
universe?
100%.
Probably.
100%.
That's it's the god of sanity.
Jethro is
And when you combine the two, it's chaos.
I will never stop making the joke. You can't make me.
But I mean, finding the blood of an ancient god on somebody is
Insanity god
is a clue, I think. And so we haven't really been able to figure out kind of what all that means yet, I think, but
Even-
it'll be important, I'm sure.
Even if it's not a very actionable clue, there's not a whole lot we can do. It does like give you a little deep dive of the mentality of Kapoor. You know, like that's
you worship an insanity god, or
Which-
that's where you get your power. Either one.
she's like confirm a cleric. She was like healing herself,
Right,
right?
so, like,
Yeah, that
Cleric
is
wizard.
Trey.
Yes.
So, like, the time frame here from when you battled Kapoor, she's clearly still alive, and you didn't kill her. Or capture
we killed
I
her.
understand.
It just didn't take.
To
She does not have a vessel.
being attacked later is like 3 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
which is on par for her.
right, have you guys like considered if she has other minions with her that can do sending messages to local group leaders of the Hidden Pillars?
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
definitely sure she's got minions.
She's been in
Yeah.
the back of my head, or back of Jethro's head, since he boofed her to Ruby Shit. From that point on, she's been like a third voice in his head. There was another pre-existing voice that we just kind of gloss over
Yeah.
sometimes.
Interesting.
I mean, know your
So,
whole backstory.
No, it needs to go Jethro.
so some of this keeps going, right? For a current, not enemy necessarily, maybe a frenemy in Desiree, because Edmund messaged
Tried. I've
Desiree,
tried.
attempted to, and it was just repeated back to him.
Static.
I've tried a couple different times.
Yep.
So,
We don't know what happened to
I
her.
think
We don't know who
she's-
took her.
Usually that's bad.
She's either blocked, whatever the magical equivalent of blocked
So
is.
I think that depends on how your DM is homebrewing the rules for sending.
Yeah.
So the spell, I've seen others where it
test
says, okay, the spell fails. I've seen somewhere it says, well, you get the sense she didn't get the message, or...
I feel like we need to test the theory by killing someone and then trying to send to that and see what the,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
help.
Chris, the DM, is being vague enough because obviously this is a different world than rules as written 5e.
Or, I mean, given that you have found the blood of the madness god, is it possible that Kapoor took her, made her mad, and now she basically just responds that way to sending messages?
Oh, Desiree. Yeah, I mean, she
Desiree.
could have. It's her sister. I mean, you'd think she'd be somewhat
It's her
kind.
sister, but we also
we know
they have a
Kapoor
very,
doesn't have a vessel.
they have a very business relationship.
Right.
Yep.
From the ledger.
But, so, I mean, I guess all we really do know is that Desiree is of no help to us because we can't get in touch with her.
Yeah.
She's
And Desiree
Anyway,
and Kapoor is a mixed bag because she was trying to go after Razim, which makes
Because
me
we
think.
told her to.
Oh, we told her.
Well, she was already on the trail. Like when we mentioned, hey, this kid is the one causing the rift, she was like, bet. I'll take him out right now. We were like, whoa.
Bring him.
Just bring him to us. Don't take him out right away. So she wanted Razim dead. She made that pretty clear.
Yeah, and we're not really sure what her deal is yet. Still, because she was supposed to show up. She kept talking to Jethro. She was going to show up. We were going to confront her, and she didn't show up. The Hidden Pillars did, and so that we were like, oh well, then they must be working together. But then later she talks to Jethro and says. And she drops some.
I think it's a little far.
Is that too
for
far?
this discussion,
Maybe she doesn't do that until the next.
Remains to be
I
seen.
think that happens
Remains to be seen.
immediately, like at the same time as
That's right.
this interview.
Yeah, so there was a lot of... We'll get to the combat in a minute, but after you couldn't reach Desiree, at that point, did you guys just decide, okay, if we can't reach her, there was a scream at the house when you guys were entering, right?
Yes.
Kapoor is an enemy at this point.
Yes.
Yep.
Why don't we just go steal her shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, those.
Yeah, I mean, and if we run into her, we'll give her stuff back if we haven't.
I mean, the intention
How do you
going
give a
in
healing
wasn't
back
like.
that you've used?
We'll buy her anyway. Or spot her.
I
at
don't
heal.
think the intention going in was let's steal all of Desiree's stuff. It was let's see what she's hiding.
Yeah, well, I honestly think it was, well, at least for Domik, it was, let's find out what the hell's happening here. Maybe we can find a clue and figure out where she's at. And, like, if she loses some stuff, but, we rescue her from the sphere of, I don't know, wherever she is, then, service is due. We'll take your stuff, you're free.
Yeah, Edmund was under the impression that she was like kidnapped.
Yeah,
her
same.
place was robbed. So us taking the shit the robbers couldn't get into, and then trying to rescue her was not us robbing her.
Yeah, same. Because that's what they told us.
Right.
They were
still under the impression that.
So it was
Which is the only reason.
Just double robbing her.
Yeah. I literally asked my God, I was like, where should I go? Is there anything in this house that'll help? And he was like, right there. Or she was like, right there. It did an augury spell.
Right.
So, like, and my goddess was like, yeah, fucking loot, do it.
Right.
I don't know, that's all I can do.
I guess they did a good job roughing up the place. From the other party's perspective, was there any thought to maybe going to the closets to see if there's still valuables there? It's like, from the episode, there was a lot of very nice gowns that would fetch a price for any robbers and could be pawned quickly.
That's too much work.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think I casted detect magic or something.
Yeah, not magical stuff, but stuff that a robber that couldn't get into the locks that were in place would have taken and sold.
Well, that was what was kind of interesting too, is that the robbers were clearly looking for only magical items, which made us think hidden pillars when really it was just them.
That's a fun. Speaking of the robbing, I like how the DM has decided to do the lockpicks.
Yeah.
Instead of just having lockpicking tools, there's actually a break mechanic.
Yeah.
That's then quickly circumvented by having a wizard in the party.
Yeah.
Which we didn't find out for a while.
But
didn't think about.
It was interesting to spend money on 10 lockpicks and a book.
Oh.
Well, I didn't currently have
A book on
the
lockpicks.
wizard with me.
Fair.
And I don't think that I bought the book on lockpicks. I think somebody else bought the book on lockpicks and then didn't let me see it.
I didn't buy it.
And then we have what I don't know if you guys have seen this, but
They probably can't see it.
it says, it's a picture of a chest, and then there's the keyhole, and it says, put lockpick here.
That's what you
That's
learned.
essentially what the book said.
It's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
It's
And
a
so for
book
all of you players
little
out there,
babies.
That's what we call technically correct.
if you've never rented a book from the library on how to pick locks in your DM game, in your Dungeons and Dragons game, you're missing out.
Do it.
It's useless, but
All right.
it's not like
So,
Skyrim rules where
you guys also got
Levels
a
up
bunch of
one.
stuff from Desiree's house.
yeah.
Yes.
Healing potions, obviously.
We borrowed them.
A drift globe, a bunch of money,
A bag of holding.
bag of holding, which is huge
Very
for any
nice.
adventuring party, especially level 5, and an adult dragon tooth.
Which I have still. I'm very
I
excited.
forgot about that thing.
I honestly forgot about
Yeah.
all those things.
Nobody questioned
And
it.
then
The blasting circlet in there, or what did we get?
the blasting
Kapur?
circlet, I believe, was in there. Yep, it was.
The ring
And-
was in the
That was Kapur.
The emerald, and then the cursed ring.
Mummified monkey,
mummified monkey.
giant stone.
Giant stuff.
That's super.
That was from
Or no,
the
that was
battle.
from
What did we ever
Tells you the
do
battle.
to curse? Did we ever discuss what we did with the curse ring?
Yeah, so after you guys leave Desiree's, you head back to town, finally solve the murder case for the children.
And like,
Literally just
in
by
all of, like, 2
intimidating everyone.
I mean,
Yeah.
a couple of deception,
I
intimidation.
mean, you
persuasion
almost
checks.
beat down
A zone
an
of truth.
elderly
Zone of truth.
graveyard.
a zone of truth, a calm emotions to make sure they wouldn't run away, and that's about it.
I'm fine with that.
That was pretty.
No
Pretty.
problems.
It was
Those
a
are the
really
good
cut and dry case. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert, it was the teacher.
As a teacher. So have you guys given any thought to catching the drow yet? Or maybe if they hired an assassin?
We kind of gave that to Ruby, like,
Here's-
hey,
Here's the thing,
Here's a
like,
tip.
it's a city, there's gonna be crime and assassinations in cities. We can't, like, overturn the entire, like, criminal underworld of every city we come across. Well, like, take the thing that gives us money and I think we're just gonna move on, is what I feel
to be
like.
fair, the drow was. It's not like the drow was going around kidnapping.
Yeah, he was
It
literally
he was paid to do it.
If we kill that assassin,
Yeah.
there's only 10 more assassins.
So
in the
was
city,
there any
right?
thought that one of the drow from the Assassin's Guild was working off the books for this job?
I mean, most likely.
Very.
There
Like,
is now.
most definitely. I mean, the thing is, you kill the teacher, and you end the kidnapping of children. Because
Sure,
the drow is
yeah.
not doing it of his own volition; he's paid.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
you
like-
got the
it's a
source.
job.
So it's like, if we would have killed the drow and didn't kill the teacher,
She would have found.
she would have just hired another killer.
Yeah, stop
Yeah.
the source.
Which we didn't even kill the teacher.
Plus, we don't get paid for the drow, right?
Yeah, we did.
We would have gotten paid for the drow.
Yeah, so you took her to Ruby's, or no, you inflicted wounds on her before you took the
No.
corpse to Ruby,
Yeah,
right?
no, we took her to Ruby, and then Ruby said, "Do whatever you want," and then free soul.
Okay.
Jethro was not going to say no.
I can't believe you'd inflict wounds on an innocent person.
She wasn't innocent.
She wasn't innocent.
Yeah.
I
She was
would.
responsible for the
However,
kidnapping and deaths of like a dozen
Jethro has in
kids.
fact inflicted wounds on an innocent person multiple times.
That was the joke I was making.
So while you're on Ruby's ship, you each get assigned a guard as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
that lasts all of 45 minutes.
Yeah, but I say that was a lot of time
A
spent
whole lot of time getting them together.
talking about getting which guard you wanted for them to die basically out of combat.
It was very disappointing as a player.
It was.
Yeah, we
For that to happen.
literally spent an entire episode like getting these guards, paying them, hiring. I hired 2 guards.
Yep, because the following episode is you guys going to the Assassin's Guild and saying, "Hey, who wants to help? We'll pay you. You know, when
Like-
Kapur comes, yada yada
We even
yada."
made nice little
let's-
connections.
Let's be honest, like,
No.
is that really surprising though? Like, are we really gonna do a melee with each of us having 2 characters?
An
Like,
extra person,
it's just gonna
yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's about
I
right.
mean, that sounds like DM.
Which is why I was like,
me.
here, just give me I'll take whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it,
That's not
it
exactly
definitely
surprising.
allowed the DM to like flex the muscle of they just assassinated all of your guards without your even like.
Yep.
I was hoping one of them would turn out like cool. You know what I mean? Like I expected pretty much all of them to die, but I was hoping like one person picked one that was just gonna be a badass.
Mine almost made it.
Everyone that died was at least the D6 of hit points that we didn't take. So
If my guard had gotten inside, my
Out of
guard would have
combat.
made it.
It
still,
was disappointing.
I'd rather go into a fight with a bunch of dead idiots than like half health.
Which is accurate.
So
That's true.
I mean,
They were
we
cannon-
technically
they
didn't
were-
we didn't really lose any money on it. We didn't pay for them.
No.
Ruby paid for them.
And then
Technically, we gained money.
Yeah, we actually gained
I
money.
looted the body of. The
well, I would also like to point out that the following combat adventure was just hats off to Domik. Like,
Hey.
that was a Domik shining star episode.
Domik did a whole
I'll
lot of
take
combat.
it.
Yeah, Domik did a whole lot of killing and damage.
Are we
I
on
mean,
the fight now?
Yeah, we're going to There's not so much time you can spend on, we've got all these bodyguards and hired all these people, and then they died.
Bolgram did some damage too. Let's talk about that.
That was a really good combat. That's one of the better balanced combats I've seen.
Yeah, it was. I honestly, Chris took the kick gloves off. Fireball is insane at level 5, and he was just throwing them like candy. There was like a real sense of urgency. Like, we can't take one more fireball. We'll just drop us all. Like, I only have so much healing. That was a lot of the way it was set up. We had like people up here, assassins up here. There's people in the alley. That was very well.
Kid Gloves definitely came off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was our first
That was
actually
sick.
hard fight.
The fact that we ended that combat with half the party below 10 HP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had one.
Everybody's spell slot's pretty much exhausted.
Yeah, I
Down to
had
0.
I had one spell slot, and I thought I was at 12, and then we came back to the fight, and I realized that I actually failed a deck save that I thought I passed. So I was actually at 1 hit point that entire end of that fight. So I was like,
Yeah.
And y'all
Crazy.
two went down.
Yeah.
yeah,
It kind of felt good to have the end of combat where we're not like, oh, that was okay.
Yeah, no.
Did anybody need a rest? We were like,
we have
We need to
to.
get
Damn.
the fuck
I
out
used
of here. Yeah.
I used the majority of my luck points. I used the majority of my fortune points, which is what I used to ward people. I used all my new feats I never needed. The new ring we went.
The Ring of the Ram. Yeah,
literally
use that too.
burned everything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is good. It's
Right,
it's
it's good.
satisfying.
So, as characters, though, after that battle, was there any consideration to be like, all right, we need to get the fuck out of here and go find some magical items or something to buff us up a little bit here?
I wouldn't say so.
Because you already know these are people under Kapoor,
Yeah.
at that point.
Right.
There was definitely we need to get out of here, but I don't think it was. I think it was just
It was more of just get out.
get out.
Yeah,
we just gotta get out.
Because we didn't die, and to be fair, Remdil saw most of his hit points.
I was fine.
Yeah, you were fine.
I mean, Jethro was pretty close to dying.
Jethro
several
didn't do-
times.
Jethro didn't do anything
Much.
on the fight, let's be honest here.
True.
Yeah.
Passed
That's
out.
true.
Jethro.
So you took a lot of damage for a character who's supposed to stay at the back and just cast Eldritch Blast.
Jethro made some tactical errors. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what to use my
What do you mean throwing your consciousness into the first thing with 2 legs?
It
Isn't
works
good.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very high risk, high rewards.
It is
Yeah, I
very.
feel like
if
it's
it works,
That's like an augury
It's a
spell.
game
It's about
changer.
50-50.
Yeah.
it's very fit. If it works, you essentially get 2 turns of not having one less person fire at you and having one more person to fire for you.
I just don't understand the let's do that first, and then you're just on the ground with an extra spell slot.
You know,
Maybe call that plan C.
Yeah, it feels like holding on to that for somebody comes up to Jethro, hits him in the face, knocks him to 1 hit point, and then be like, okay, well now I'm going to possess him.
in
Papa Roach.
hindsight, yes.
Papa Roach, make your last resort, man. Just,
Yeah,
come on.
it's
man. Kill him.
definitely not a tactical thing, but it's also Jethro's.
That's also Jeff.
It's Jethro's
Yeah,
one trick.
Jethro's kind of I rush in
Yeah.
and start blasting.
Going back to the original question because we got a little bit distracted. I don't think Domik was we need to buff up. Domik kind of felt okay, it's good that's kind of what I've been building my character on, and it's good to know that if push comes to shove, I can stand in the middle of things and do all the deflections and to keep people alive. But like I said, there's definitely a sense of urgency that we need to do something else. We can't keep having that happen. But it wasn't we're not strong enough. It's just we're in the wrong place right now. We need to find a better tactical position rather than we need more armor, more items, more spells.
That was supposed to be the bait and switch.
Yeah, I feel like if there's an Edmund book for the Art of War or something, that we can have the group read, seems to be smart.
Pretty nice.
Positioning,
Don't
lines
die.
of sight seems to be something that we could.
Yeah, I mean, Edmund also scored his first kill after swearing off killing, so that was pretty interesting.
Well,
Well, they also killed 9 people.
that was the first person I killed because Arine went down. Not only from you, but also from them. I think you went down.
Yeah.
And so I took 2 of the brick stones, sharpened them with a
Yeah,
magic
yeah.
missile,
Which is
Yeah.
very cool.
shot him
Very,
I like the flavor
Very
from
dope.
Like
the
Avengers.
wizard there.
Yeah, like the Awakens
Good.
spellbook, you know,
Yeah.
with replacing
That's
damage
super
type, I feel like I can use shit around me more, and it's just cooler.
I feel like on certain fights, like once you get higher level, that's super broken.
Well, right. I mean, if
Because you're like, okay, well, I'm facing this, and I find out that they have this resistance. Okay, fine, I'll just change my spell.
But you're a wizard, right? Like that's using your intelligence to like.
You're the
Sure, yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, so it's like it
It's
makes
just
perfect sense.
It's a
but
far cry from like a sorcerer or a wizard who builds themselves around like, okay, I do fire spells.
more damage
Right.
per bar.
right. Well, and the cool thing about this is, I mean, I think this is actually printed now.
Yes.
So what I described. But,
Cautious.
you know, it makes sense in a world where magic didn't exist. Because I'm like, oh, what if I took this spell and combined it with this spell? And like now I'm just trying to make shit up. I'm trying to make magic up. You know what I mean? Because I don't know any better. So it's cool that he's like, you know, oh, maybe I'll do the magic missile thing and use these bricks around me. Or I see a spell like this snowball swarm or whatever.
Yeah.
And I go, well, I don't have any snow around here, but maybe I could use these bricks. You know, like,
That's super cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
And bludgeon people. Oh god.
And
The
we have
chilling touch
Bolgram.
that's necrotic.
Yeah, and then there's Bolgram, which was it was a kind of mixed bag for
Yeah.
Bolgram that fight because I was very excited to kind of Hulk out. I rolled on my random rage table, which gave me the ability to kind of teleport around the battlefield, which is very cool for a barbarian to be able to do. I downed the potion of growth that we stole. I was like, this is going to be awesome. I went, you know, I hulked out literally. And threw a dude across the battlefield and started, you know, taking people out. And I think they figured out pretty quickly that you're not going to beat this guy with brute force. And so they very smartly
Jethro him.
hit me with a I think it was a charm person or a suggestion. And I don't have great wisdom.
So I think above table it's enemies abound.
Yeah.
Enemies abound. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have great wisdom, and so basically, you know, I had to change allegiances in the middle of the battle, which was awful because I had just grown very large, and
That's like the classic barbarian Achilles heel, right?
Yeah.
Wisdom saves.
Yeah,
Mind
for
control.
sure.
It's gonna
So
happen
then I
in
had to make a
combat.
choice as a player because I was like, well, you know, I'm trying to think, okay, what would Bolgram do, and yada yada. Because my whole plan was to take two of them out of the fight and just take them off on my own, so that we had less people to kind of because they were down the alley. And I'll take these guys, and then they'll figure everything else behind me, and then I'll come in for backup. Now I turn around and I have to start fighting people, and I've got a guy who's like laying on the ground, and I've got this crazy monk who's come in and starts just kicking ass. So I was like, I'll split it. I'll take a swipe at each of them, and then I'll take out the guy who's chucking rock meteors at people. And I ran over right before I was able to hit him. I luckily snapped out of it, which was nice. But I felt real bad because that took 2 death saves away from you, I think.
I never rolled a death save.
Oh, okay. Well, then I
It
got
knocked
you.
me 2 death saves, but
There
then
you
I got
go.
brought back right before I rolled a death save.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Well, anyway, so that was. It's always fun to think like, oh, what would happen if I had to like fight my own party members?
Until it
But
happens.
Then it happens, and you have to be responsible for someone
bad.
might be out of the game.
It
That's
actually
not
almost.
Right, and it wasn't like 1-on-5 you fight against. It was like you had a bunch of other people who were also fighting.
Because I always, you always think like, well, these guys are powerful, magic wielding people, and Remdil like matches me for strength, so they can probably take me on if something happened.
If it was just like us versus you.
Yeah, but that's not what played out. It was
We got
very interesting.
fireballs.
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of mentioned it under in the game, whatever you want to say.
Somewhere
That Bolgram had just confessed to raging out and accidentally killing many people in his village.
When he raged, yeah.
When he raged, and then suddenly we're in a fight, he rages and proceeds to kill 2 allies.
Yep.
So everyone's kind of like, Bolgram, can you get it under control,
Yeah.
or are we going to have a problem here?
Good shit. Good to
that
go.
is a
It's
major part of his backstory, and it seems to
Very
continue
unintentional, but
to
it
happen.
played well into the backstory.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
really did.
Like I don't think the intention was to be like Bolgram is this person who can't control his powers, but just everything coincided in a way.
Just delicious.
I mean, if this was a traditional D&D campaign where magic was set up and established and whatever, I mean, I feel like a little trip to the Underdark, kill an illithid, and get a helmet.
Yeah.
would be top of the docket for Bolgram here, but
Yep.
at this point, they don't know what an illithid is.
Yep.
Or if they exist. Or the Underdark, or any of that.
Rings of mind shielding?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
No.
Minds are making
I will say though, if we do come across a magic shop and we got all kinds of money, and we see something that's going to help me from
Magic shop.
I mean, you guys have a little bit of money. I'm not sure you have enough money to buy a mind shielding.
Definitely have enough swords to
You
turn.
have a lot.
Right, a lot, but those are a lot.
We're sitting on
I
like
mean, those are
2,000
like
gold right now, I think.
borderline
Yeah.
wondrous items.
sure.
We don't even know. We haven't even seen a magic shop. The closest thing we found was a,
Well, yeah, 'cause
was
there's
a
no magic.
perfume shop,
Perfume
right?
shop.
That happen
Right.
to have like 2 or 3 potions.
Yeah, if you want to call them potions.
You got the +1 longsword.
Have we
True.
bought a magic item yet?
No, we haven't bought.
I have a magic dagger.
I mean, it's trickling in. The magic's starting to trickle back in, but we'll see.
So after the battle's over, you guys go around to all of the cultists, at least 6 of the cultists, and grab their robes
And souls.
and their souls for Jethro.
And rings.
And their rings.
Which comes up later.
Which I feel like is going to come up later, either the robes or the rings, not sure. Yeah, we'll see. But then
Let's see.
you guys go back and you debrief, and Arine gets a note.
Yep.
She just doesn't have to say what the note said,
But
she
Arine
does
got a note.
go ahead and say, hey, I have to do this.
yes.
And the party says, well, this isn't a party thing because we won't win through strength of arms against Osas.
Right. Arine essentially got a note that's saying, like, hey, Osas is holding a bunch of, like,
He's holding.
young children captive in his quarters. And the older monks, like, around her age, are having, like, they want to basically get them free, and they're having trouble doing it, and so she feels called to go back and help set the children free through stealth little missions, and possibly using the help of Razine. And then she also wants to get some intel on Osas and be able to report back to her friends on what's going on there to see if they think that they could actually finally take him on. Because that's kind of been something that the party has been building to for, like, in campaign a few, like, weeks, I guess, or months.
It's been a minute.
So yeah, and then above table, monks are boring. Sorry, sorry. I wanted. This was above table. This was my first time playing a monk, and like 3 out of 10. Did not.
They do
Did
very
not
few
enjoy.
things very, very well.
Yeah.
Everything outside of those is kind of a struggle.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing: this campaign is so non-standard. I think standard D&D is set up to where no matter what you pick, you have something to do. But there's so much investigating and researching and like looking into things, and like if you're set up for just punchy, it's I can see it dragging,
It's a tough.
which is
Yeah.
completely fair. That's
Yeah.
and if you're not having fun,
But this, this is not the end of Hannah's journey in this campaign.
I think we're all curious what you're going to come up with.
Yeah,
Insanely
I won't
curious.
say, I won't give any details, but I will say that I will be returning to my rightful seat
Sorry.
at the table right here. I will be returning to my spot with my drawer full of chocolate. If anybody has ever wondered what's inside this drawer, it's chocolate.
it's always snacks.
It's always snacks, and I am really, really excited to bring a new character, a new class, and a new story. I think a new
Piece of the puzzle.
a new piece of the puzzle to the table. I'm super excited. So
I'm interested to see when these chuckleheads get it together and get to wherever your character will be introduced.
We're getting
They
there.
are working on it.
I know it's gonna be. They're gonna amble their way to wherever they're supposed to get next in the main campaign to
Right.
meet their new party members.
Right.
So far, this
Right.
party has not done very well with new people being introduced that are NPCs, so Chris really has to stress that, hey, by the way, this is her character, so don't kill them as soon as you meet them. Because we all know Jethro's first move, and I hope you have
Or
a good
intimidate
wisdom
them,
save.
or possess them, or steal their soul, or convert them and steal their money.
Just enter with a whole lot of alcohol. That'll probably work.
The goal is don't let Jethro be the first one to be introduced.
I have a very good plan.
Nice.
So
Okay, no.
It's gonna be great.
Just don't
the brains are coming back to the
don't
table,
be
boys.
even borderline. Wow. Don't be even borderline.
Sus.
Not even like the slightest little bit violent at all, because it does not go well.
Don't worry.
Unless you have a good save.
Half bugbear, half dragon.
You were drunk when I
gunslinger.
came on, so I didn't.
100%
Yeah,
accurate.
my character was drunk and just throwing around disguised self when you showed up, so it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, my character is like from after the Industrial Revolution. No, just
okay.
kidding.
So,
Actually, time travel.
Spelljammer.
Just kidding.
So we're now introducing guns to
Do you own a spelljammer?
yeah.
Spaceships.
Well, on that note, Arine, thank you for joining us for what is likely Arine's last above table, not Hannah's. Arine's.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean,
Not us.
as much fun as playing 2 full-size PCs in combat sounds.
who knows? I can't make any promises either way, so who knows?
Two bards of a different archetype.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Well,
That's
all right. Thank you guys for joining us for this. It was wonderful to sit and talk amongst all these guys, as opposed to sitting behind the camera like I usually do. So thank you guys for having me again.
Absolutely.
Viewers at home, if you guys have any questions that you want answered, anything you guys want me to ask on one of these, feel free. Comment on the YouTube, the Instagram, the Twitter. All of that information is on our site or YouTube or wherever. So
Fate Awakens.
easy to find. Fate Awakens.
Fate Awakens.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye!